Welcome to part 2 of creating the Commodore games system. And last video we left off with a damaged board where the TV modulator or the replacement tore some traces. And we're going to fix that in this video. And we're also going to actually put the board in the case and create a working Commodore game system. Yeah, let's do this. This video is kindly sponsored by PCBWay. Thank you, PCBWay. Okay, as you can see, I made quite the mess here by removing this thing, which I'm going to put back in because I know that works, and I have to remove as many variables as I can when I fix stuff. So yeah, I will just get another one of these for my other machine. Let's quickly check what the damage actually is. So this one should go to here. Check that. That's ground. That's ground. That goes somewhere else. I think it goes here. Let's see. Yeah, that goes. And the one that's actually missing is ripped here. So I could potentially fix that. And that is meant to go to, doesn't even go, it goes to here. Okay, and then it goes all the way here. Yep. So that's where my botch goes on this side. And then we have the mess I made here. So we have this one that goes from here to here. We have this one that goes to here. Yeah. We have this one that goes to here. Okay, found it. And we have this one which is also torn off and goes to straight here. Okay, so that's my second botch from here to here. And this is just, I don't know, hanging in here. Okay, so we have to do two botches. I will just solder this guy here back in, and we take it from there. What's it now? Yeah, now it works. Okay. Okay, now to the repair. So I have to use a few small wires. Okay, did reconnect these two pins, hopefully. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works again. Not so sure about that. Okay, 3. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's kind of progress after I destroyed it first. Okay, so we have a working shortboard again, I hope. So I am still struggling with this freaking cartridge port. Let me show you. So I did completely desolder this, but these pins are still stuck on some sides. Hot air didn't move anything, just made this board very, very wobbly. I think almost killed the port. You have to get this out somehow. I'm thinking about cutting it out and then soldering in a new port, but I would have to wait at least a week for a new one. Yeah, let me struggle a little more, and then we will see what we see, if I can make it work or not. Okay, I finally managed to remove the cartridge port. I did pull the pad there, and of course the pad there, somewhere there. Already mangled this to have straight pins now because they were angled. And this has to go in back here. Yay! But first we take a closer look at the traces and see if I did destroy anything else, which would not be great. Very strange. This white stripe is the print where the cartridge port is printed on the board. So it looks rough, but it's still there. Same here. A few things, and there's this guy, which has no connection on the top side and only connections on the bottom side, which is good because then I don't care. Okay, let's check the other side. Oh, that looks rough. Okay, I did damage here. I have at least to bridge this portion here. I think this is ground. I had to mangle this with a screwdriver to actually get the port out. So in the end, the only thing I have to really fix is this right here. Yeah, just have to bridge this connection over again. So let me test fit this cartridge port to be straight and put it back into the board. Then put it into the case and see if the cartridge slot actually hits this connector then. Fingers crossed. I did put in the cartridge connector and I just plugged it in. I bent the legs straight, so it's the same connector. And what you want to see now is if it actually matches the cutout in the case. Let's check that. So here's the bottom case. Yeah, it's a bit wonky because these legs here are very, very long. I have to cut these down when I have soldered that in, but first we have to test fit it. And if we go now and we put this on, if I can somehow get it to fit, you can see it's right there, and that is extremely cool. There's one pin that's a bit bent, but I think it will do. Quickly take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, PCBWay. PCBWay offers PCB production and assembly, as well as 3D printing, CNC manufacturing, and much, much more. I use PCBWay myself to produce PCBs, to get assembled PCBs like the Pi 15413, and I also use the 3D printing service on my Amiga box project, and I was very, very pleased with the results. So if you have anything you need in terms of PCBs or 3D printing, just give PCBWay a chance. Again, thank you PCBWay for sponsoring this video. So Commodore actually really cheaped out on this. You can see that we have these ports in here, we have this port in here, there's just nothing on the back. So I think on the original GS this is not even populated. Yeah, I have these two holes here where the RF modulator would go, but I'm not too worried about that. So let me solder this in, and I also have to pull, if I want to do a real GS, and when I switch it on there's the actual GS startup screen, I have to change the ROM. I'm not sure if I have to leave the basic ROM in. Ah, okay, wait. The ROMs are combined in here, right? And I have to put a SID back in. Okay, let's solder in this connector. We have to fix the board where I broke it, right here. And then we take it from there. So that's one row, the long pins. And now we go for the second row. Okay, that's the cartridge port back in. Let's cut a few pins. At least these longer ones here. Nice. Let's try it with a cartridge. Yeah. Works. Yeah, that pin is not a problem, even though it looks a bit wonky, but since you push this in here, this only makes better contact then, so it's all good. Okay, let's fix my fault. It all looks pretty rough right now, but that is just because I didn't clean it yet. And the only spot of interest is the one right there. Oh wait, I just noticed that's not supposed to connect to anything except for the ground pin, and this here does not belong there. So this has to go there. Let's first solder that pin in. Okay. So now we have to take care of this thing right here. Let me see if I can just bridge that with a bit of solder. Doesn't look too good. So let's measure continuity. Do we have a path from here to here? So I think we'll just try to connect this here to this here somewhere. I will scratch stuff off here. Try to do a connection there. Copper should be here. And there it is. Let's use some flux. Looks good. Looks good too. Now we have to connect this guy here to ground somewhere. And that's on too. Okay. I think that fixed my two damages that I caused. So now let's plug it in and let's see if it still works with the cartridge. Let's try this. Switch it on like this. Does it work? Yes, it does. Great. So here's the OG Super Game cartridge from Commodore. Let's try that one. Let's plug it in. See what happens. No, that just works. This looks pretty much like the startup screen of the Commodore GS. I did desolder the kernel ROM, and let's check out the carnage that I managed to do again. So here's the top side, and you can already see that I managed to pull a pad over here. Not sure if that is connected to somewhere. Doesn't look like it. I think it's just connected on the underside, and on the underside it's still here. There's no connection here, and there's no connection around here. This trace goes here, so I'm not concerned about that. Other than that, this looks to be okay. And on the underside, everything seems to be perfectly fine. Yeah, there are no pulled pads or anything. So it just looks good. Nice. Now there's still a lag in here from the kernel ROM, which I did pull. Yeah. So I will have to fix this kernel ROM because I only have one of these. I will put in the new socket and I will remove this lag here, and then we will check if this thing actually boots with the C64 GS kernel that I already burnt onto a 27C512. You should use a 27C128, but I didn't have one, so I just copied the GS ROM file 4 times with a hex editor, made a bigger file, burnt it, and hopefully this works. So let me put the socket in and then we can see that. Yeah, like butter. Nice. Okay, that's in. By the way, if I read that correctly, Commodore itself used EPROMs for the kernel ROM. That's why you can use standard 27C EPROMs in here. But since these are 16K, you can't use the 64 variant. You have to use 128 or higher, I assume. We will see in a second. Okay, that's all in. That's the underside. That's the top side. There's a new socket. And I also did put in a SID kick Pico. Let's quickly fix this kernel ROM here. Look-see. Can you spot the soldered pin? It's this one right here. You can see it from the top, but you can't see it from here. It's very sturdy. So that should actually work in the socket here. We can try that, just putting it in there. So let's do that. So what we should see now is just the same as before, which is the standard basic prompt. Please work. Oh, still works. Very nice. Okay, so that works. Good. Now let's pull this and let's put in my homemade kernel ROM. Let's see if that works too. Let's see. Yes! Man! That's awesome. It works. It freaking works. That's great. Ah, now I have audio. Okay. Thought there would be some kind of music or something, but it's just a beep. Where am I? Oh, here am I. So let me put this in the case and then we can see the final product. Okay, I did go and I put in a green LED, which with a large cable, because the connector is somewhere around here. And we have that now. I have to put this here in. Hope that it doesn't break. Ah, it works. Okay. It looks good. So LEDs in. Nice. We have this sticker to put on here. Yeah, that's way too large for some reason. You see, this is about 9 wide. And this is about 11 wide. No, that's all wrong. I have to reprint this. That can't be correct. So for now I have this. There's an LED in it. That's good. And I'm also missing the Commodore logo, which I have to design and print. So I will just print both, because that's not good enough for this. I also went and I bent a spring from this ball pen and I just used this for this, because this is a flap that I need inside here. That goes in here and then closes this when no cartridge is attached. And you can just go and push it down. It should be okay then. I need 2 of these. I have another one here. So I have to do another spring. And then I have to hot glue these onto this to keep it in place. So that's the next order of business. When I can find my second spring. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 windings, and this has, I think, a few too much. And then we have to put these in the opposite directions so that it works like this. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. So how this works is I did cut some of these little metal rods. These are 0.8 millimeters. Should be 1 millimeter, but I got the wrong ones, so yeah, never mind. You place this in here, and then you thread this rod through here, like this, and there you have it. And now you go and you just hot glue this on, and you have two hopefully working flaps. You have to find a way to actually put these in here. I think I need something to put over here and hot glue that in. And now we hold it in place for a while. It looks good from this side. Yeah, it's stiff, but it could work. See? It's really tight. Okay, let's see if it opens if there's a board underneath. So if I see this correctly, this board is just held in by screws that go in here. Budget awareness strikes again. Yeah, so believe it or not, this could actually work. And all I have to do is to fill these blanks here. Let's take the Super Games cartridge and plug it in. Let's see what happens. I'll be damned, that works. That's crazy. So this now looks and feels like the original, except for this little sticker here. And the fact that there's no TV modulator. So let's plug it in again and let's see what we get. Nice. See? Nice bright LED. That's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, so that is that. So we have to find a logo sticker or design a logo sticker and that part here. And then we can really take it for a test drive, I think. So since this sticker is too big, I made new ones. And I printed these. And yeah, let's apply these to the case. Let me first show you what I got here. So I redid this year, but just the logo in two different sizes. They're just slightly different, so yeah, not sure which one will fit. I created the badge for the bottom of the case. I made some Commodore logos, which go right here. So this badge goes here. And this badge goes right here. And yeah, since I did these too big, I made them again so that they fit. Yeah, let's cut them out and see how this looks. There it is. Okay, let's apply that one. Did of course give me the serial number 1, because why not? Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, it's not really silver like the original, but silverish enough. Next up, let's do the little Commodore logo. There's that. I made it a bit lighter than it is on the original console because my console is white. And the original is a bit beige. So that should probably fit nicely in here. Yeah, it does. What we have to do is we have to cut the edges a little, just a little bit, because these are rounded on the original. It's really just a little nudge. This. There's the logo applied. Yeah, that white stuff isn't great. I did order this batch and a few others from Batchman. It doesn't do this, but it does do this here. So I will replace that once that arrives. Didn't arrive in time. It's not his fault, it's mine. I just ordered too late. So let's do the big one. That is that. And now we have to cut the spot for the LED. Okay, there's that. Yeah, that fits much better than the other one. I could still do the full-size sticker. Maybe I will do that. But for now, pretty happy with it. Looks good. I also applied some rubber feet to the bottom. These are normally white or beige, depending on what photo you look at. Yeah, that came out pretty nicely. So the Batchman came through, and let's see what he sent. So I paid for this, of course. This is not a donation or anything. Let's see. So in here should be the perfect sticker for this year. A few other things for the future videos. So I always wanted one of these black labels for my black Amiga, which I built. There will be a video too, so you will see this again. We have a few of these. And this should fit in here perfectly. We will see about that. And I have an A500 Plus to repair. So this is the label for that. Nice. Yeah, so let's take this label here off and let's put the nicer one. Yeah, these look much more the part, I think. Not sure what I do with the black ones. That's pretty good. Yeah, that looks much better. Much better. Nice. Oh, look, there's a little Commodore 64 sheet. Formatting a disk, loading directory, load file, background colors, text colors, border colors, the colors. So if you want stickers like these, just scan the screen now. Very good, very good. They are not cheap, but they are good. I like them. Okay, so that is that fixed. Nice. Yeah, much better. I really like that. Now I have to redo this sticker here and let the green pop a little more, because this green is just not green enough. It's too dark green. Okay. So that will do it for this video. In the next video we will go and we will try to reproduce the original cartridge, which came with a system which featured Fine Dish Freddy, International Soccer, Flimbo's Quest and Clax, as you can see on this label here, which I already printed for this. Thanks for watching. If you want one of these yourself, the labels are in my GitHub repository, And you can get the case, I will link it below, from the artist who made it. It's good. It fits perfectly, and it's, well, obviously made with much love. So that's great. And you can of course print it by today's video sponsor PCBWay, the same way I did. Cost me about 80 euros to print. So that's pretty reasonable for the top, bottom, and these two flaps and the black part here. Yeah, so that concludes this video. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. If you need any PCBs, pre-assembled PCBs or 3D printing, please use the link in the description below. Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and yeah, that really makes a difference. Thank you. Until next time. Bye bye.